Yo, what's going on, everybody? Let me know if you guys can hear me. What's up? Oh, it's been a cool minute since I went live, but hey, I'm here. I am late because I said I was going to be on at 11:15 a.m. my time, and some stuff happened, so literally had to push it back some. But yeah, so we're on. What's up? What's good, everybody? How you guys doing? Feel free to let me know how your week has been. August 25th. We're on a live podcast about a few days earlier, and that's just because my baby's birthday is this Saturday, so I'm not doing a live stream on Saturday at all, much less doing any content on Saturday. Now, for those of you guys who follow me, I appreciate all the support. I did post a short on this channel talking about how I am working on a side project, just having a bit of fun with that. And it's Mr. Pixel's YouTube channel, and I'm having fun kind of just thinking up how am I going to do all these different shorts. They're going to be shorts. They're not going to be super long videos. Maybe like once in a blue moon, there'll be like a video longer than a minute. But most of them are just basically going to be shorts. There's a TikTok channel that correlates with it, so they're in tandem, and a Twitter account with that as well. And it's just I don't know. I guess it's exciting because it's starting from the ground up, right? This channel has well over 11,000 subscribers. It's gone, ups, and it's on its downward slope, I want to say. There's a lot of content creators who face that issue. Chris Perillo is one who faces that issue. So it doesn't mean that I'm not going to do anything on this channel anymore. It doesn't mean that I'm going to completely abandon it or anything like that. I'm still going to do my live streams on here. I'm still going to do other tech stuff. I mean, I have things outside of Google Pixels that, I'm just going to kind of just bring to this channel. This channel is already cluttered with a lot of different ideas that, I've been trying to do and been trying to implement, incorporate into this channel and everything. I didn't want to I wanted to give the Pixels its own shine, its own spot, its own space for me to just kind of make content based around Google Pixels, whether it be any of the phones, the earbuds, and, future tech, right? Like my goal currently right now, hey, what's up, Coffee? What's going on, man? My goal is to basically get the Pixel Watch. That is like the first piece of new Pixel tech I'm going to get is the Pixel Watch, which is the reason why that this live stream is entitled as is above or on YouTube below. Googlefy everything you need to know, because I have landed on the decision, and the decision is final and binding. I made a mental contract with myself, so I'm not going to break this contract. Googlefy is my service provider and is going to stay my service provider. I'm going to give reasons why. By just basically going over everything about Googlefy that people should know about Googlefy before making the jump to it. I am catching a trend that people are moving over to Googlefy, and they're happy in the first month or so, and then they're coming back with like 3 month, 4 month later videos on social media explaining their kind of frustrations. And so I'm just going to, like I tend to do, I have countless Googlefy videos, but suggesting people that, hey, check out my old videos. A lot of people don't really do that. A lot of people will look at the most current video and that's it. So if it's regurgitating some of the stuff I said in previous videos, I apologize. If you know everything about Googlefy yourself, don't worry. Just chill and hang out. Or if there's questions about Googlefy that you have questions about, feel free to ask them. And I'd love to answer those questions during this live stream. But before diving into all that, let me show you guys the new channel, and it's picking up some steam. The channel is, and that is literally just, it's just doing well to start off with. Okay, and I'm talking about YouTube channel that I'm starting from scratch. Yeah, so it's not like viral or anything like that, you know, to be kind of straight with everybody. It's not. I didn't expect it to have to grow as it did. The other day I made a shorts on this channel and I was talking about, you know, getting seven subscribers, and that I was very appreciative of that. You know, I'm not a person that thinks that, like, you know, I'm the shit when it comes to tech, right? So, you know, even getting one subscriber is like an exciting and humbling experience. And yeah, so seeing that, you know, I got 7, I was pretty excited for that. I was like, hey, I got 7. That's awesome. And yeah, since we doubled that amount since yesterday. So in 24 hours, I gained 7 more. So I want to say thank you to the new 7 who subscribed within the last 24 hours. I'm going to share the channel with you guys. Yo, what's up, Eric? Hey, Eric, dude, I love your videos, man. Especially your video where you were talking about GameStop and the issue they were giving you when you were trying to trade in or sell one of your game consoles, and they were like making a whole big fuss about the controller and everything. Bro, I enjoyed that video, man. Keep it up with those videos, dude. I love those videos. So if you guys aren't subscribed to Eric, please subscribe to his channel. Eric, drop the link to your channel in the comments. Please subscribe to his channel. His videos are pretty good. And you know, some may say that that's my opinion, but I do like straightforward videos. I know a lot of people try to go like with the bells and whistles when it comes to content creating. You know, we've kind of allowed that to kind of just seep into the YouTube side where everything has to be like high value production. I myself prefer videos that are just straightforward, person talking into, you know, the camera phone or the camera, and just laying it all out, right? No need to have studio equipment hovering all over you. You know what I mean? I dig those types of videos. So check out his video and check out his channel. But I'm going to show you guys the side project channel. It's called It's Mr. Pixel. I've redonned the name itself. And no, for, you know, any jackass who's like, oh, you're trying to get their attention to get a part of their team. I really don't care to be a part of their team. I don't. I always am appreciative when like Technoid makes mention about why I've not been invited to their team. But at the same time, he made some very valid points too that I kind of, you know, agree with him on, and that's you lose credibility when stuff's given to you for free, and I just don't want that to happen. Especially, you know, like when I review like the Pixel Watch, which is like the #1 new Pixel device that I'm gunning after. That's the one that I'm going for. So it's not the Pixel 7. You know, the Pixel tablet won't be until next year, but the Pixel Watch, that's what I'm gunning for, because my Pixel 6 will, you know, it'll suffice. Anyways, let me show you guys a new channel, and then I'll grab the link to that channel and drop it in the chat for everybody. So I don't want to share no audio because I'm playing no videos, but this is a channel. So voila, boom. So here's the channel itself, and yeah. Right now I just have, I think it's like a couple of shorts that I uploaded. Uploaded one about you know, the my favorite pictures that were taken from Google Pixel phones, and it's a mashup of like photos I took with the Pixel 5, the 5A, the 4, and the 6, right? So 4, 5, and 6. We'll make it dark mode so it makes it much more easier to see. But yeah, that's the channel itself. And let me kind of just grab the channel link, and I'll drop it in the comments for everybody. If you guys want to subscribe to that channel, go ahead, subscribe. There's going to be daily shorts. Maybe the minimum is one shorts a day. I don't want to, like, you know, throw out like 5 shorts a day. You know, there may be days that I do like 5 different short videos. That's what the channel's about, short form content. But I don't want to set that as a standard, because then people are going to be expecting 5 a day, and if there's days where I'm only feeling it to do 1, then yeah. So let's make it a commitment to 1 shorts video on that channel a day. And it's the topic is Google Pixels, right? So if you're a fan of Pixels, well, then you'll hear my perspective, me being a fan as well of this product line. If you're not a fan and you have questions, maybe one of my shorts will answer that question. Just depends. So yeah, that is the channel. Okay, so let's just kind of kick off. Let's talk about Google Fi, right? Because I had Visible, I did let it go. I still have Metro by T-Mobile, but yeah, there's just some things about Metro that, I find a bit fishy, that is like, And then there's Google Fi. Now, I've been using Google Fi on and off for a while. I've seen it go through some really good changes over when it was known back as Project Fi. And, that to me is just like thumbs up to Google Fi. So there is one area that Metro beats out a lot of prepaid companies. And unfortunately, Google Fi falls into that pocket of a prepaid provider that Metro can kind of beat out, and that was the only good benefit of Metro by T-Mobile, to be quite honest with everybody. Like, T-Mobile works in my city really, really good. So using services like Mint Mobile, Google Fi, T-Mobile Prepaid, Metro by T-Mobile, Q-Link, and all these other different brands that basically run off T-Mobile's network, they're all going to function fine here. Slight differences depending on their priority access. We know this. Shout out to the boys. And what I mean by them is, like, Sneed Mobile Tech, Carlos S Tech, Moose, Dennis, and all them, who pretty much go live about 3 times a week to pretty much teach people about the telecom industry. So shout out to them. And Metro, they don't really have a data cap. So they have a deprio cap. You guys should know what deprioritization means. I've been spewing that on this channel for a long time now. Just to be on the safe side, I'll just deprioritization. Moments of congestion, you're slowed down. Congestion over, speeds return back to normal. Or if you leave the area of congestion, your speed will automatically return back to normal. So, that's deprioritization. Now, Google Fi, Boost Mobile, Mint, and all them, they have a throttle cap, which means that when you cross that threshold of allotted amount of data connection, you are in fact slowed down for the remainder of your bill cycle until your next bill cycle starts. So that's where Metro kind of just like has the upper hand when it comes to prepaid mobile phone connections. Because I'm not really needing Amazon Prime. It's good to have if I'm ordering and buying stuff, but when I'm not really buying anything, then And you want to talk about the Google One. Google One subscription is on Google Fi as well as on Metro by T-Mobile. So it doesn't really matter which one I'm on. I'm going to get that 100 gig of free cloud storage and whatnot, which right now on my main Google account, I actually have 200 gigs of cloud storage, and they gave it to me, not Metro or Google Fi, but just Google themselves gave it to me for a year free. So I got like a year trial, 200 gigs of storage on Google One cloud storage, and that expires next year, 2023. And let me just kind of make a note that at 15, we'll chug it up to like 16 minutes is when the Google Fi thing starts. So anyways, like I said, I'm back on Google Fi. I am on their Unlimited Plus plan. And so I'm getting all full benefits and features, $65 a month. Taxes and fees are not included in that $65 plan. So with my taxes in my city, I'm looking at about a $70 bill a month, right? So that's pretty much like the same price as postpaid plans out there, which it kind of like, to me, Google Fi really does feel like it's some sort of like hybrid of like a prepaid but a postpaid mentality, right? So their pricing is, not the cheapest out there. You can definitely find better with like, Visible, especially Visible's new plans. They still beat out pricing for Google Fi. There's Mint Mobile. You can buy in bulk and pretty much like, save. Metro by T-Mobile, the $60 plan is like, it's $5 cheaper than the Unlimited Plus, and you get the Google One subscription and Amazon Prime included with that. And there's no throttle cap. Yeah, there's no throttle cap on the data, so you're good on that, right? So yeah, I wouldn't say Google Fi is the best at pricing. $65, right? Now, if you go with the $50 plan, well, then you are in fact getting somewhat of a deal, but it's still there's others out there who give unlimited at $50 a month, right? Boost Mobile is one of them. So you're right alongside Boost Mobile and its unlimited data plan. So I mean, there's that aspect of everything. So yeah, Google Fi is kind of like in postpaid territory. It's pretty much where it's at on it. Let's see. It might help if I have some sort of visuals here. Let's see if we can get that up. I'm trying to see if I can get in there without showing any of my info, because that's the only downside about it is like pulling up Google Fi. Let me search it a different way instead of using the link. Let me see if I just can get like a direct link to their plans. That way it's not going into like private information. There we go. All right, got some visuals for you guys and gals. Got some visuals. Anyways. That way people kind of go along with me on it. All right. So we are here. No, I don't want to talk to a Fi expert. Okay. So here we go. Let's do one line. They still have it the way they had it before, right? So Simply Unlimited used to be $60, now it's $50, right? $50 for one line, and then you have the Unlimited Plus, which used to be $70, is now $65. The flexible plan is the only one that's never changed. That's their OG plan, and it's been that way for long. But anyways, yeah. So these are the different plans that you can currently get with Google Fi. And like I said, it feels mostly like postpaid. And the reason why I say it really feels mostly like postpaid, even though it's prepaid, sort of, I think I want to create a whole new area for Google Fi, because it's not really so much prepaid. It's more, I would say, in the lines of like, it's a hybrid. It's a hybrid. Because they are an MVNO, right? They use T-Mobile, they use US Cellular, they have roaming agreements with Verizon and AT&T. So yeah, they don't really, Google doesn't have, they don't have their own network for them to really kind of work with, right? They're using other well-established telecom companies to provide customers with a cellular and data connection. So it seems like, MVNO is synonymous with prepaid, but they build differently. So you use your 30 days of service, and then your bill generates, and then it's due like 2 weeks after the due date. So it's so weird because they refer to it as prepaid, but hence the word prepaid, we pay before you use. And then Google Fi's definition of how they're doing things is you use before you pay. So that's postpaid. That's why it's called postpaid. See that? If you guys seen, so the definitions, right? You really got to look at those definitions. I mean, people, postpaid is synonymous with like being with Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, and like on their top priority access is what people assume when you say postpaid, because that's what's given. But really, it's just what it really means. It's just you're paying for your services after you use your services. So you're billed after your bill cycle's over. And Google Fi follows in that same footstep, even though they're an MVNO. That's why I said, like, they're not really a prepaid company. They're postpaid, if anything. But they have that prepaid atmosphere, and so that is just something that I would say is like, something that an observation that I've been really kind of looking at for a while now. Google Fi, if you choose any of the plans, right? So if you choose the Simply Unlimited, which is $50 a month, you have a throttle cap at 35 gigs. So once you pass 35 gigs, you are slow to 256 kilobits per second for the remainder of your cycle. And if you're on the Unlimited Plus, you have 50 gigs of high-speed data before you're slowed down to 256 kilobits or 128 kilobits, I think it is. I think it's 128, not 256. It could be 256, I don't know. But yeah, you're slowed down to you're supposed to be slowed down to 256. But yeah, you're slowed down to slower speeds after 50 gigs of high-speed data usage. Now, the cool thing about Google Fi is that if you're on the Unlimited Plus, you have the ability to get data-only SIM cards, which you can put in a tablet, you can put in a laptop that supports LTE connection or 5G connection through a SIM card. You can use it in there, and the data you use counts towards your allotted data, right? So if you're on the Unlimited Plus, the 50 gigs of high-speed data, if you use 25 on your phone and 25 on your laptop, that's 50 gigs right there. It pulls from that, right? There's not a set allotment for hotspot or using a data-only SIM card. So, oh, that's a weird, wacky combination. But anyways, yeah, so, let's do it that way. So it's like that way. So those are the plans for Google Fi. Not really much to it. Yeah, there's not really much to the Google Fi plans. Other than that, now you do get some other things too as well. You do get VPN for those people who want to be able to encrypt their data connections. You got VPN that you can use, and that's given to you free with Google Fi. So Google Fi gives you Google VPN. That's nice. If you have a Fi capable device, which i.e. is just another fancy way of them saying a Pixel device, you have the smart switch capabilities. You'll be able to switch between US Cellular and T-Mobile. That's if US Cellular is in your area. US Cellular is not nationwide, so therefore there's areas where you can get on Google Fi, and you're not going to be able to utilize that option. Pay close attention to when you read stuff about prepaid carriers, postpaid carriers, and the services they offer. You have to really understand what they're giving there, right? So while you have the ability to smart switch, right, this is going to be mostly effective in areas that's in the Midwest and Northern California, because I hear US Cellular is out there in NorCal. So you'll be able to utilize it there. If you're up in, the Northwest, so like Washington State, or if you're in New York, I don't think New York has US Cellular. Yeah, you're not really going to be able to benefit from that. You're always going to be on the T-Mobile network. Unless you're roaming. Roaming is the only time you're really going to see like a connection with Verizon or AT&T. That's in areas where T-Mobile and US Cellular are not available. You'll get that roaming and roam on AT&T or Verizon. So technically, yeah, you kind of have connections with all the different carriers, the telecom carriers. You'll have connections with them. However, the other two is basically roaming. So, adjust the mic there. And so, with that being said, there are some benefits with Fi. The other benefits you do have is spam protection for messages and phone calls. You have they've baked in was it the Google Family thing, Family Link, that's baked in into Google Fi. So if you actually take out a family plan on Fi, your kids' lines you can monitor, you can protect and watch with Family Link. You can govern the things that they're able to see, all that good stuff. So it has family protection in there, is what it's called, from Family Link, which is by Google. And with the Unlimited Plus, has the most advantages because it works in a lot of countries. That's like the Fi Unlimited Plus plan is the best for international travelers, those people who constantly leave the United States and go to various other places. That is where the Unlimited Plus has its biggest benefits, and is now, on the flip side, more cost effective. So like if you're just using it in the US like I am, the Unlimited Plus plan is not a real big benefit to anybody, other than the fact that you can say I have Google phone service, which ain't even truly Google phone service, it's T-Mobile. But if you're traveling outside the country, that's where you're going to get the benefits from, because comparing to AT&T and Verizon and what they offer for international usage overseas, Fi gives you the best rates and the best usage out of your phone. There's no need to go and grab a SIM card from a local telecom company in whatever country you're going to visit, as long as it's within the supported countries, which there's a lot of them. There's like over 200 plus countries that your phone will work. So that's a benefit to it. And then if you're someone like me who lives in the US but has a lot of family outside of the US, because your family generation comes from a different country and not from the United States, then when you keep in contact with them, the Unlimited Plus will also benefit you, because there are 50 plus countries that you have free calling and texting to. So that's where Fi Unlimited Plus has its benefits at $65 a month. So now there are some that are cheaper, right? You guys know that I've tested out various different providers. Q-Link is another one. Q-Link is one of those ones that has a government contract to provide the government phone plans. So with that being said, I do know that with Q-Link, if you're on the government phone plan and it's a 5G phone that you're using, you'll get unlimited talk and text for, I think it's still that, unlimited talk and text right now. And it's 5 megabits per second download, 5 megabits per second upload on the 5G data connection, because it is bottlenecked, choked, only because it's free. You're not paying anything for it. If you're getting food stamps or Medicaid or any government assistance and you qualify and you went through Q-Link, you don't pay for your phone. So they're not going to give you the most blazing fast speeds where you're going to get like 550 megabits per second on the downlink and 80 on the up, or even a gig down and 150 up. You're not going to get those kinds of speeds on Q-Link. But the reason I brought them up is because they do have a calling add-on, which is $5 a month, and it allows for unlimited calling. There are set specific countries, and one of the countries that I have family in that I call to is on that list. So I was only paying like $5 a month to talk for free. So that's not really fair, but to talk without limitations, let's put it that way. It's not a permanent rate. So with that being said, I mean, that is a bit cheaper, a lot cheaper. It's about $60 cheaper than Google Fi. But again, your country has to be supported, and Q-Link only had a set limited amount, and I think theirs was less than Google Fi's. So go figure. Fi has all the potential in the world to get even better. Like I've always talked about how I felt like that, on the benefit side of things, and for Google Fi to keep their price plans where they're currently at right now, right? So 65 for the Unlimited Plus, 50 for the Simply Unlimited. But what they should implement in on the Unlimited Plus that would make that seem like you're getting your bang for your buck is like you get the Google One subscription on that. They should also throw in YouTube Premium subscription. I think my data's acting weird today. It's been acting weird lately. T-Mobile home internet. If you guys want to know what I'm streaming on, that would be it. Get the heck away from me. Somehow mosquitoes got in the house. I feel sorry for my kids because they get bitten. They get like bitten and it itches. We had like storms past 2 weeks. It was like every other day in the evening time we would get hit with a thunderstorm. It would dump rain on us, and so there's like a lot of moisture. Mosquitoes are out, so it sucks. Anyhow, so with Google Fi, to be quite honest with everyone with Google Fi, that's what they should implement in YouTube Premium and the Unlimited Plus, right? And like they can make it a tier. It's like Simply Unlimited, they can give YouTube Music. So like if you subscribe to Simply Unlimited for $50 a month, you get the unlimited talk, the unlimited text. You get 35 gigs of high-speed data in your slow for the remainder of your bill cycle. You get the give them the Google One cloud subscription and give them YouTube Music. That would be nice. Go up to the Unlimited Plus, you get all that, plus the 50 gigs of high-speed data before slowdown, and give them the YouTube Premium. That will also give them YouTube Music. That's me. If I was running the division for Google Fi, that's what I would do to become competitive. Because to me, Google Fi has always been like a passive-aggressive company. They want to compete, but it's like they're afraid to compete, or maybe T-Mobile's got them by the balls because they use and depend on T-Mobile's network. And I would say that, there are other fish in the sea. Google, I'm sure you can work a deal out with AT&T. I'm just saying, if T-Mobile tends to not, T-Mobile's like, yeah, you're out there, you're using our network, but you're not allowed to compete with us. Wow. That's just me, wishful thinking. I have like all kinds of ideas in my head, and but it doesn't mean that I'm necessarily right. These are just ideas that I have. So why would I go from Metro by T-Mobile to Google Fi, where Metro seems like to be the better fit? Because I use a lot of data, and and I'll tell you why. Key big things, and one of them kind of hit me last week. So Metro basically started to support eSIM, which is great and everything like that. And I was like, hey, that's good, because some people just don't want to use a physical SIM card. But there was a little debacle and a hiccup trying to get the Pixel 6 with eSIM on Metro by T-Mobile. And it didn't get functional. We weren't able to get it functional, so the physical SIM card for Metro by T-Mobile is reactive, and it is currently in the Pixel 6 right now. Google Fi supports eSIM, and it's so easy to really use that compared to how Metro is trying to set up everybody on eSIM. You don't need to contact Google Fi to do it. You do it directly through the app. It's seamless. It works. You download. So all you need really is just Wi-Fi access. So you can download the eSIM, which is the same for Metro. Metro, if you're going to try to do Metro eSIM, make sure you have access to a decent connection for Wi-Fi, because if you try to do eSIM on Metro and you have no Wi-Fi, how the heck are you going to download the eSIM profile? You need the Wi-Fi to do that. So anyways, but yeah, Fi makes it very easy. Download it, it's active, and it's easy to switch between devices. If you need to, you can switch from one Pixel to another just by simply logging into the Google Fi app on the phone you're going to use, and just click when it pops up and says this phone's not active on your Fi line, click activate to activate it. If the eSIM's already downloaded on your Pixel, you're good. If not, it's going to tell you need to download the eSIM profile. I'll download it for you. I'll activate it for you. I'll start working. So you can switch between any of your devices so easily on Google Fi. Metro is just a cluster of it. What up, Carlos? Glad to have you here, man. So now I'm just like, and it was funny too. Just like the whole thing. I'll probably do like a separate video of my experience trying to get eSIM active on Metro by T-Mobile and why that didn't work out, why I gave up on it. because literally the whole entire time for Metro of them trying to fix the issue, because they tried to get it set up for eSIM, there was an issue, it didn't happen, there was a 72-hour wait, contacted back again, went over, troubleshooted, talked more, put in another ticket, another 72-hour wait, waited, contacted, when they said everything was ready, wiped the eSIM profile off my phone, re-downloaded a new profile, did all that stuff, nothing. And it was funny because every time that, like the first time we did it, there was no connection. The second time we did it on Metro, and the third time we did it on Metro, after those 72-hour waiting periods of waiting for a ticket for the IT team to fix, it would show 5G UC logo on the very top, but then it would have the exclamation point in the reception bar. And when you would make a phone call, you were routed over to a T-Mobile automated message that said you were using a device that doesn't have an active SIM card. And I kept telling them that, and they couldn't figure it out. But anyways, that's for another video. If you guys want me to talk about that story, that frustration of trying to set up on eSIM with Metro, let me know, and I'll make that video and upload it to this channel. Not that it's Mr. Pixel's channel. That's all about pixels, but to this channel, my main channel, my podcast channel, I'll make that video. But anyways, yeah, so Google Fi does it better with eSIM. Makes it so much easier. And you're like, well, what about the other devices that you have, like the Moto G stylus and all that? Those will work on Fi because they're T-Mobile. They're T-Mobile, Metro by T-Mobile devices work on Google Fi because Google Fi primarily uses T-Mobile's network. So there's not going to be a problem there. And because I got Google Fi, a physical SIM card is being mailed to me at this time, which in like a day or two, it should arrive. And I have that physical SIM card. Now, I take that physical SIM card and I pop it into the Moto G stylus with the Google Fi app downloaded on the Moto G stylus. And yeah, it'll activate the SIM card. And then the SIM card will be the one running the data connection and cellular connection on a device without eSIM. So you have your options, and it does not require you to talk with customer service. So you're not having to deal with that, because it seems like today, and this is probably one of the biggest problems with customer service today, is like when you try to explain yourself, to you, maybe everything sounds great the way you're explaining it. But for some reason, they're not catching what we're saying. And so there's always a lot of mistakes, things that, maybe this is just Metro only that does it. I don't know. I can't really speak for like AT&T or Verizon because I don't have their services, so I don't ever contact their customer service. But one thing I know about Metro, it doesn't matter how many times that you explain things. Yeah. And I know people will be like, well, they use people in India, and to be quite honest, they actually use people in the Philippines. It's Filipinos that they mostly use, because every call center that I spoke to having to deal with the eSIM situation, having to deal with the whole mess up of my account, all those things, every time that I've called into Metro by T-Mobile, it's been someone from the Philippines. And I know that because, one, I hear the accent, I recognize the accent, especially if they're from the northern part of the Philippines, like in Luzon, then they speak Tagalog, right? If they're from the central islands in the Philippine chain, then they're speaking on the south, and like the southernmost island in the Philippine island chain, Mindanao, they speak Ilocano, I think. Visayans is in the middle area, but yeah, so their dialect is different. Tagalog incorporates more. It's more of their native language with a mixture of Spanish, right? So Ilocano is totally different. But anyways. And I know they're from the Philippines because when I hear that accent, then I start dropping, because I lived in the Philippines. So I start dropping everything that I know. Everything from like food dishes to places out there that have like the most beautiful sceneries, to the resort they had that I stayed at when I was a kid, where I got in trouble for drinking all that soda because they had like a mini bar in the middle of the pool, the vacation resort, all that stuff. So I'm just like, okay. Yeah, once I bring that up, they light up. They start going on about things. Then they start asking if I have Instagram and all this other stuff. So yeah, but again, language barrier, probably, maybe, because I know I'm explaining things pretty clearly, but maybe that's just my perception, right? I look at all angles. I don't have a narrow-minded view, so I look at all angles of things and say, hey, this could definitely present an issue. But it's, it's tough. It's really tough when you're having to talk with customer service at times and try to get your point across. And then there are some who are just like stonewalled. Like, you can try to get your point across and they're not trying to hear it. There are people like that, right? Like, these are humans that sit in the seat with a computer in front of them and a headset on just like this with a microphone stem, and they're talking to you over the phone. And they have their good days, they have their bad days. They're not mindless robots that, there's a standard they have to upkeep for their call center, obviously. But, who really follows the rules today? I'm not saying that it's okay for them to be that way. I'm just saying that you got to think about that too, so you don't lose control over your emotions on a call that's going to piss you off. That's my advice to people out there dealing with customer service. But yeah, with Google Fi, I don't have to deal with customer service. I rarely have to deal with customer service. And I think the only times I've ever, in all the different times that I have used Google Fi, the only time I really had to contact customer service was an incorrect calculation of credit. Well, it didn't work for me. Hey, what's going on? Yeah. It didn't work for me, Carlos. And I just gave up on them trying to figure out why it wouldn't. So, in a nutshell, basically, I gave them the EID, told them that, I'm using Metro, my Pixel 6, and I wanted to use eSIM. And so they took the EID, they made a eSIM profile with it, and they were like, okay, we went through the whole entire spiel of getting it moved over to eSIM, and then they were like, okay, connect to Wi-Fi and download it. You had to go to their generic metrobuytmobile.com/eSIM activate because there's a QR code, and it's not a specific QR code. Because I kept asking them that when they were doing that. I was like, are you supposed to send me a specific QR code that I scan with my camera app to basically launch and download the eSIM profile? And they're like, no, you just go to this link. So it's a generic QR code, not specific for your phone line, but it downloads your eSIM profile. And so it downloaded the eSIM profile. The first time it did it, there was no connection at all. None. And they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't get it working. And so they were like, yeah, we'll just have to wait. Sometimes it takes 2 hours for it to start working. They were like, so 2 hours passed, nothing. So they submitted a ticket to their IT team. Had to wait 72 hours. Checked on it like about close to 72 hours later. And they got notes back from the IT team that it was fixed. We just have to re-download my eSIM profile. So we did that again. This time, the 5G ultra capacity icons were on the top, but the cell reception indicator had an exclamation point in it, which obviously meant that there was no connection. And they were like, we went over the EID number like 8 times. We went over the IMEI. They were putting the EID on the IMEI 1. And so I was like asking them, like, with Google Pixels, every other company I've used eSIM on has used the second IMEI. That is for the eSIM. So why are we using the first IMEI instead of the second? And they were like, oh, because we used the first one and it automatically tells the system to go through the second one. So that's why we use the first one. I'm like, okay, whatever. How they do that and all that is just like, no. So that I confirmed. It's iPhone, it's Samsung Galaxies with eSIM, and it's Google Pixels, that Metro. So on the Metro website, it lists Samsung and iPhone only. And that's the other thing too, that because I was telling them, like, I didn't see on their website if Google Pixels were supported. And 5 different reps, 2 of them being their tier 2 tech or their IT team or whatever, have confirmed it. Like Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, Pixel 5a, and 4a, 5G, and 5. They support eSIM on those devices. So, yeah. So they say they support it, but because I know, like, iPhones is so popular. So I know a lot of companies are going to make sure, first and foremost, that iPhones activate with no problem. So they probably invested a lot of the time in making sure that eSIM activates on iPhones. before even wanting to mess with Android devices. So I suspected that. But the person that I last talked to who was talking about it, who apologized and everything and reactivated the physical SIM card for that Metro line, they told me like they themselves have eSIM activated 3 Pixel 6As and like several other Pixel 6 Pros. So they actually did it where the service was active. So I don't know what happened with my end. Hey, Big John, what's going on, man? Welcome in. That's why you hate eSIM? I don't know. I prefer eSIM. And that's just because, one of the things I don't like about and this is not going to pertain to the average user, because average users are not swapping SIM cards out as frequently as nerds are. And because I've like swapped out SIM cards left and right from different phones, I've actually broken the SIM trays on the Pixel 5a actually. And so I prefer eSIM because I do a lot of switching. So it just makes it easier for me to just open up the Fi app and just activate and my phone's working. I don't need to move over a physical SIM card. I have to pop the eSIM tray out. I don't want to mess with the integrity of the IP67 on the Pixel 5a or the 6.8, the IP68 on the Pixel 6. So eSIM just makes it easier for me to switch. And Google Fi makes it very easy for you to switch between devices. Even using iPhones and activating eSIM on that is real easy. I've done it a lot of times on the iPhone XS you gave me. So yeah, it works great on there. But yeah, so like Fi lacks in areas where it's like, it doesn't make sense for me to go on there if I'm a big data user, but I have the Metro/T-Mobile home internet. So I'm always on Wi-Fi when I'm at home. So I'm not going to pass 50 gigs. I know that for sure. But I have the 50 gigs of data to use in case I want to live stream wherever I'm at. Then I know I have the data to use it there. We need dual SIM card phones again. That's why I like. And see, that's the cool thing too, is like right now, because Android 13 on the Pixel 6, and I do want to say on the Pixel 5a, I have to look more into the 5a, but I know for sure the 6, because I downloaded 2 Metro eSIM profiles on the Pixel 6. So the Pixel 6 actually does, it has triple SIM support. I don't know if it's going to be like, I would call it TSTS, right? Because DSDS stands for dual SIM, dual standby. So maybe TSTS is triple SIM, triple standby. I don't know if it does it that way, where you can have all 3 SIMs active at the same time and have the services working on all 3 except one of them working for data. I don't know if it will do that. But I do know you can have 2 eSIM profiles downloaded to your Pixel 6 on Android 13 right now and have a physical SIM card inside of it. So that's 3 SIMs you can have on your Pixel 6. And you can switch between them, right? If you needed 3 different phone lines. So I do know that's one of the things that's opened up about Android 13 that I think is pretty awesome. And I'll go more about that on the my side project channel. It's Mr. Pixel. So link in the chat if you guys want to subscribe to it. It's at 14. We doubled the amount of subscribers from yesterday. Yesterday we had 7. Today we have 14 subscribers on it. So it's slowly doing its thing. But the most important thing is that I'm having a lot of fun creating short form content on that channel about the Google Pixels and the Pixel products and the future Pixel products. So that leads to this next part, why I'm back with Google Fi. And the nerd in me is getting the Pixel Watch. And Fi has already stated that when the Pixel Watch launches, it will be one of the first to support it. Supporting it meaning that giving it connection, cellular line connections and everything. So, and I do intend to get a Pixel Watch. That's the first new Pixel product of this year that I'm going to go after. The 6A, the 7, I'll gain it and get it over time, but the Pixel Watch is the first one I want to get. I don't have a Pixel smartwatch at all. I have quite a bit of Pixel devices, like Pixel phones. I have 2 different Pixel Buds, the Pixel Buds 2, and then the Pixel Buds A. I don't have the Pixel Buds Pro yet, but I will get that in time also as well. So the very first piece of Google Pixel new tech that I'm gunning after to get is the Pixel Watch, a smartwatch, a satellite to the Pixel 6. That is, and Google Fi is going to support it. I'm sure, Metro by T-Mobile might support it, but I know for a fact T-Mobile will support it. Verizon may support it, giving it its own, connection. That's a possibility for sure. But I know Google Fi is going to support it, and who knows what kind of deals that Fi is going to give if you're a Pixel Watch owner. So that's something that I'm kind of excited for. I'm gonna drop a link to an article where I read this at, so you guys can read it at your own leisure. I was gonna pop it up on the screen, but yeah, just wait for another time. But anyways, yeah, so that is the other reason why I went back to Google Fi. So being back on Google Fi, yeah, I can stupidly tweet and talk about that I have Google Phone service, which is not really truly Google Phone service. Yeah. The one thing I am curious to know is how is the whole thing with Starlink and T-Mobile going to affect Google Fi? I don't know if you guys follow. You can only have two at the same time only. Oh, okay. I don't know if you guys follow Carlos on Twitter, but I saw your tweet earlier, so that's how I caught wind of what the announcement was with Elon and T-Mobile today. And you said that they were going to be using Starlink for backhaul on their cell sites. So I wonder how that's going to, work with Google Fi. What can we expect on the Google Fi side? Since T-Mobile, obviously is the network that Google Fi runs after. So obviously, the Starlink thing it's a small cell backhaul. Oh, okay, got it. Foldable. You're talking about the Pixel Fold, which is supposed to be the third device being released this year alongside the 7 and the 7 Pro, that I don't see a lot of people talking a lot about, even though I do read a lot of articles from kind of trusted publications like 95 Google and them talking about the Pixel Fold. So they've been talking about it in readable material, but I hardly see anyone really talking about the Pixel Fold video wise, podcast wise, or any of that stuff. Yeah. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully, I can only wish the Pixel Fold to be good. We'll have to see. We'll see what happens with that. Unfortunately, yeah. So that's my take on Google Fi. Everything that you need to know about it. What you need to know is that it's called a prepaid company, or it's not prepaid. It's actually postpaid because you pay after you use the services. It's just it's a postpaid MVNO. That's what Google Fi is. Their biggest plan, the Unlimited Plus, is great if you're a traveler and if you have lots of countries that you call internationally to from the United States, then it's going to be great for you. But if you're just going to use it for unlimited talk, text, and 50 gigs of high-speed data, that's probably the only benefit you'll get is the 50 gigs of high-speed data, because if you go simply unlimited, it's 35, so it's 15 gigs less. But it would not make sense. That's depending on the taxes in your area. You can see your bill at $70 to $71 to $75. This depends on what state you live in, what city you live in, or what county you live in, and the taxes that's going to be applied on top of your bill. From those, you can see a $65 plan be I know for mine it's going to be about 70 and some change, just because taxes here is close to 10%. So it might be $72. The 6A camera, that's compared to even a 5A, but it's the same sensor. The 6A's camera is the same. That's why there were people who were slightly complaining a little bit about it. There's not a difference in it. It's a Sony IMX363. It's the same sensor. It's calibrated. It's supposed to be calibrated the same way and optimized the same way. And it's the same camera sensors since the Pixel 2 XL. The Pixel 2 XL uses the Sony IMX363. So that's all they did. They didn't put the Samsung 50 megapixel camera sensor. I don't even know what the hardware model number is for the camera sensor in the Pixel 6 from Samsung. I need to look into that more. But I do know that that's what they reverted to. So why is it bad? I mean, is it like, so the calibration, it's off, it's warped a little. So the line's not straight when it is straight. So when you have the line straight, it's still slightly crooked. Not like the 5A. What do you mean by like not like the 5A? Like, got a little bit of time here to chill before I jump off the live stream. Kind of interested in knowing. I'm still gonna get a 6A, just so I can try it out for myself. It just won't be anytime soon. Maybe like December, maybe January of next year. The 5A, I can zoom to the pic and it's clear. On the 6A, it gets grainy. Oh, yeah, I've been reading people talk about that. Some people are affected by that and some aren't. Which is like, it's the most darndest thing when it comes to Google lately with the 6. Ever since with the Pixel 6 launch and everything, there are some phones that are plagued by bugs that others are not facing. So that's crazy. So we'll just rule your Pixel 6A as part of the bad batch. Because there's people that don't have that problem. They can zoom in and it's just fine. I wonder if Google's using 2 different facilities to build their devices. That's another interesting thing. I might look into that. So that's like ideas for content for the side project channel. Maybe talk about that, do some investigative work. I could become Inspector Gadget and find out if they're... Who's calling for this one? Not on that one. But yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyways, I'm gonna hop off here, guys and gals. Thanks for hanging out, checking out the live stream, talking about Google Fi. If you have any other questions that I did not talk about in this live stream, plug your question in the comments, and I will respond to them in the comment section. Again, link in the chat. I'll put in the description later to the second channel. If you're interested in pixels, head on over there. Head on over there and yeah, catch the content that I'm posting there. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And it's so great too, because I'm not pressured by like, the algorithm. I'm not pressured by the, possibility of like using music that could be dinged with copyright. I'm not worried about that. I'm freely making short form content, uploading it to the second channel, and just having fun and just being able to do what I want to do. So more videos coming that way. Like I said, at least one shorts video a day on that channel. I could possibly end up doing like 5 a day. It just depends on what I feel like on that day. And yeah, so definitely give it a follow. It's all about pixels. So if you're not interested in Google Pixels, you don't care, then don't worry about it. I'm not looking for channel growth, like as in like subscriber counts. But for those who are interested in Google Pixels and you like to hear what I have to say about the subjects of different like Pixel news, you definitely want to go follow on the second channel. Again, the link is in the chat. I'll put the link into the description after this live stream's over. Give it a follow. Stay up to date on it. Hey, everyone's popping in and I'm about to hop back out. So yeah, and if you guys missed the majority of the live stream, catch the replay where I'm just going over everything about Google Fi and back with them. Better late. We'll check you the playback. Cool. But yeah, follow the second channel if you're interested in Pixel news and Pixel stuff and my perceptions about the Google Pixel products. I'll get at you. I know I'm jumping off right now, babe. I'll get at you guys later. Again, remember, no podcast this Saturday. Busy. Yeah, y'all take it easy.